little problem here, but holidays today, there's just a couple. It's Fried Rice Day, International Red Panda Day, National Dance Day, National Punch Day. Oktoberfest begins in Germany approximately on this day, and Pepperoni Pizza Day. Birthdays today, we have just a few. Greg the Hammer Valentine is 74. Ethan Page, 36 today. Arn Anderson, 67. Hey, interested in roller derby? You want to be a skater, officiate Rock City Roller Derby needs you. Contact recruitment at rockderbyrecruitment@gmail.com and join Rock City Roller Derby. If you're the men's team, Flower City Fear, FLOUR, Flower City Fear as well. And then there's a New York team, New York-based team going on right now. You want to definitely check them out. I'm your humble host of Cashman. I'm joined by DC Dan Cole and Rob Sanderson. Looks like Rob the RT Sanderson. You guys are out there. Sorry, I had a little bit of you never know until you go live whether the plug is not in all the way. And of course, it's happened before. It'll happen again.
It's okay. You've given me a chance to continue to work through my breakfast. So,
there you go.
Once that's done, I'll be on screen.
All right.
I'd be on screen now, but I wouldn't want to make Artis jealous because I am having a wonderful Sheets breakfast this morning.
Oh, we're joined by Rob Sanderson. Rob, are you there, buddy?
I don't know if I'm here. Am I here?
You are here. You are here.
Okay. I did luckily have Sheets the other day, but it was not a breakfast item, and yeah, I am jealous.
Well, Sheets is only a state away, right? I mean, isn't it?
Erie, yeah.
Okay,
Erie's the closest.
There we go. So, not that far, but it's an awful long drive. But if you're going by, Sheets is the best. So, hey, welcome to the show. We got a lot of things to talk about today, folks. I will give you a little rundown. Obviously, All Out is today. WrestlePalooza as well is today. How do I get my ESPN app? That's a question we'll ask. If you saw last night's SmackDown, you saw Graves take 2 F5s in the ring, and so getting back into a little bit of an action out there. We have some news on Andrade and Joe Henry, and we are starting the day. Today is a wrestling filled day because we've got All Out in the day, and then WrestlePalooza at night if you can get it. But it's going to be one of those days where you're camped out on the couch. Might even have more than one meal while watching wrestling. Just thinking about it, you could have possibly 2 meals while you're watching the whole day of what's going on. But, I'm happy to be here and happy to talk about it. And there's a lot of things. Let's start off with Rob. I want to bring this up. Last week on the show, you and I kind of went over the All Out card. And then there you are. And we were, as we talked about the card, we weren't being too complimentary of it. I mean, honestly, on the bottom level,
It's a good thing I wasn't here last week because I would not have been complimentary at all to WWE.
No, we're talking about All Out.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. Never mind.
No, the same for Palooza as well. But All Out, we kind of broke it down a little bit and talked about it, and then I don't know if you saw, Rob, this week Tony Schiavone kind of took shots at people who were taking shots at the card. We weren't taking shots at the card. We were being honest, I don't know if you saw that little spiel he did. It was online or whatnot. I don't know, but I have a feeling he might have listened to the show. I'm just saying, just at the way he was coming at it, but we weren't, I mean, Rob, what did you think? We weren't being too bad about it last week, were we?
No, I mean, I basically said what I feel like I've said for a lot of AEW pay-per-views as of late, that I'm actually like a little disappointed with the card going in, but I know that it's going to meet and exceed expectations as every single AEW pay-per-view ever has done. So I guess I just I feel the same way today about the card because I don't think I don't know. To me, it just feels very much like an in your house compared to a tent pole classic 5 or something. Like it's just I don't know. There's a bunch of matches where I don't think there's any chance in anybody's mind that the other person could win. I think it's pretty predictable in a lot of ways. I hope that there are some swerves to that. Not Swerve himself, obviously, unfortunately, but you know, I'm still looking forward to it. So, but yeah, I don't know. Like I said last week, it's a big opportunity for Kyle Fletcher to be in a main event. Um, we know though that I'm not always a fan of people with titles fighting for other titles. And I don't think there's a single person out there that thinks that he's going to dethrone Hangman today. So going into any pay-per-view with that kind of a main event situation just doesn't give me the same feeling as one where I think there's a chance of a title change or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, I think that did you hear what Tony Schiavone had said about it? I don't know if you had seen his little spiel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like a lot of the stuff he says. I feel like I agree with most of the stuff he says on his podcast and stuff. Like he's very blunt about things, and um, I don't remember word for word exactly what he had said, but I have no issues with how he feels about stuff. Like I think it's I don't know. There are a lot of people that are there are a lot of haters out there that wouldn't give this card a chance, publicly at least. Um, but I think that I do think it'll be a really good show. I just I don't know. I wish there were some more. I wish they would have done more to make some of these matches, I don't know, feel a little bit more important or something. It seems to me like it's been kind of this stretch of the same few people on every single show since All In, and yet like I still don't care about Cope and Christian against FTR. I'm sorry, like I don't like I figure there had to be other ways that they could have made it feel more important. Um, I think that maybe they tried and it just didn't, but I don't know. Maybe most fans are excited for it, and I hope they are. I hope Toronto's excited for it, but I just nah.
I begin to worry now, and this happens every time before a pay-per-view for AEWs. They roll out everybody who's on the card and have them wrestle the week before. And man, sometimes that's bitten them in the butt. You know, it may have this week as well with Dax Harwood breaking his nose pretty severely. But you know, I'm sure he'll come out with a mask on, or a Cody mask on or something, you know. He still plans on wrestling. So, but you know, we're pretty close to the show. It'd be really cool to go to it. I unfortunately have got something going on tonight that I can't announcing roller derby up in Queen City, so I'm kind of excited to do that. But I would, you know, I did flirt with the idea of going to Toronto. I'm sure, you know, he probably could last minute as well. Rob, any thoughts of going, or are you gonna stick here and watch it, or you're gonna be muted still? So
He's thinking about it.
yeah, I'm thinking of it. Okay, but
It's not a card that interests me enough for that, unfortunately. If I had decided to make any Canadian AEW trips this week, I pretty certain I would have gone to London over going to Toronto. I think I was more interested going into that 3 hour Dynamite card than I am for this afternoon show. Again, I think it'll be really good. I really do. And it'll be a loud crowd, and there are some matches I'm looking forward to seeing Eddie Kingston come back, all that kind of stuff. Like there is a lot on there. I'm certainly not just negative about it. It's just not there's not a like one marquee match where I'm just like, oh, I really like if we could do Okada and Takeshita singles, maybe that would have convinced me. But I think they're still building to that. They're holding that off for now. So
yeah, yeah, I agree. You know, and you know, we're gonna get to Andrade in a minute or so, but I do want to let's go through the card while we're at it right now. I do want to throw out there that I forgot that they were doing the 3 hour 3 hour block last Wednesday night. So when Collision or when Dynamite ended, it's like, oh, it's no, it's still going, you know, and it's like, so I was a little bit surprised. They're actually doing a collision today. I think at 2 o'clock, an hour before the pre-show starts, or maybe it's 1 o'clock. I can't remember. I know it's today.
2 o'clock's the Saturday tailgate brawl on
Yeah.
TNT and Max, which goes head to head with 0 Hour, which is a little strange, the way that's
Yeah.
all set up. But
That's very weird that yeah, and it's and I think that we had heard that is this technically correct to say that Tony Khan did move the pay-per-view earlier because of competition possibly being on at the same time?
I think so. Yeah, I don't think there's any
Yeah.
Once
questioning of it.
secret
I don't know
about
if they've
that.
talked about it publicly or not. I gave myself a break and did not listen to his media call this week going in because it's the most annoying hour of the month. And honestly, at this point, it's not even so much on him. It's more on some of the terrible wannabe media that are on that call that read questions that are 2.5 minutes long, and then they can't pronounce the wrestler's name properly that they're talking about. Like they were told to do this media call, but they've never watched wrestling or something. Anyway,
I've heard people say Takeshita the way I used to say it recently.
well, and that one's a little understandable, I guess. But I'm trying to remember what there was
I mean,
one
it's still
going
better
in.
than the ESPN announcer saying John Cena.
Oh God, I didn't know that.
Oh God. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
his
when they
name.
were hyping up WrestlePalooza during the football game. Hey, you can catch John Cena against
What,
Brock Lesnar. I'm like,
say
oh God.
Who would look at that
what is it?
name and pronounce it that way? Like that would not be what
Santino Marella would.
No, he
John
would
Cena.
Chaina.
Yeah, Chaina.
I don't know. That's very strange. That doesn't seem like a mistake that anybody would make naturally, but
You would think that if they're so big and into what's going on because of all the time they've given them this past week that they would get it right. I'm sure people are
And
just
it's not like John Cena's an unknown, like nobody knows him outside of the wrestling world.
right.
yeah, he's all over TV with Peacemaker right
Yeah.
now. So oh well, it's amazing. Yeah, they do. Names do get trashed. I mean, I'm a perfect example of someone who can trash someone's name unintentionally, of course, but. Yeah, so why don't we just go through the card real quick before we talk about some other stuff? We've got three pre-show matches. I'm guessing one will take place during the, what'd you call it again? The
I think that they're all
Tailgate
supposed to be
brawl,
part of
tailgate something.
the Saturday tailgate brawl. I think all of the matches are on that. I don't know if any of the matches are also being shown on the 0 Hour or not. It sounds to me like 0 Hour is going to be more of just hype and packages and talking. But I don't know what the point is of, like, I mean, clearly I think Warner Brothers wanted something like this. And you have to tune into Max to get it or whatever. And I don't know if AEW is just like, well, we still normally do this thing, but I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me to do both. He's trying to split your crowd or whatever. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll have the 0 Hour on my phone or something, but I'll be watching the tailgate brawl.
Isn't it funny that they go out of their way to move it to not compete with WWE, but now they're going to compete with themselves? Just for an hour, but I just find that interesting. I do want to shout out before we go. If you are going to buy the pay-per-view, it's $49.99. Unless you get it on HBO Max, save $10. It's $39.99. So you definitely want to keep that in mind. The pre-show does start at 2 in the afternoon with the 3 o'clock start for the pay-per-view. And on the pre-show, this is what you'll see: Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs versus JD Drake and Anthony Henry. It's a good warm up. Then we got Willow Nightingale, Mina Shirakawa, Harley Cameron, and Queen Aminata versus Megan Bain, Penelope Ford, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue in an 8-woman tornado tailgate brawl. That must be definitely on the tailgater as well. None of these ladies are on the pay-per-view, so we got to squeeze them all in on the pre-show, right? And then we have, and this is what
I mean, that to me is a really big. That's a match that should be on the pay-per-view. Maybe not as as an 8-woman match, but they have really built up the feuds within that match. That to me, it feels a little bit, I don't know, more important to me than some of the stuff on the main card.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they've been focusing a lot on these women lately, and then they're not going to be on the card at all. So, except for the pre-show. So, I mean, but we've seen a lot of these ladies on TV recently, and you know, so be it. Daniel Garcia versus Shibata is the last pre-show match, and Daniel Garcia making a big turn within the last week and a half, whatever. Now, siding with the uh, BJJ or whatever they call them. They changed
The D Riders.
D Riders. Yeah, they call it. Okay, he's now hanging out with them. I think that's interesting. I think it's, I mean, we kind of thought that was going to happen on the pay-per-view before, but it did not happen. So it's like maybe they wanted to delay it to give it to free for people. But so we start off, and I mean, yes, Eddie Kingston is back, and he's going to be taking on Big Bill, his first match back. We'll see how Eddie had how long has Eddie been gone now? I'm trying to think. Has it been a year?
16 months, I think.
But yeah, he had like the complete knee rebuilding, right? And that was
I want to say it was like a broken leg and a knee repair or something. It was a lot.
It was a couple things that were going on. So we're rooting for Eddie. Got to get a mic to him too at some point. Hopefully, he can come out.
And Tony Khan to the rescue so he could have his surgery, as his insurance company denied him on the day of his surgery.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's happened to multiple people. It happened to I remember Cole Radrick was talking about that too on the Indies with his ACL tear. So yeah, we don't need it. It's too early to
American Health
take little political jabs, but
it might be a good idea to just go to Canada for All Out and then just stay there.
Yeah. In general, I mean, it's a great idea.
I think that there's I mean, some people have gone fly the country. You could stay with them, maybe like Rosie O'Donnell, a few other people. So next up we've got Ricochet, Toa Leone, and Bishop Khan versus the Hurt Syndicate, and Hurt Syndicate, big time over face now. I mean, it's like I didn't realize how much it was until we saw that Bobby Lashley match last week.
They were big time over his heels. They've been over since they got there.
Yeah, so I thought
it's the theme music.
I kind of have a feeling that they may have been on their way out with some of the difficulties that people had with them when they were champs, but that's just my feeling. But man, now when you get that Bobby Lashley crowd going there, man, I was really impressed with the fans at Dynamite this past week. So, any thoughts on that, Rob?
It's Hurt Syndicate to me is kind of strange. I don't know. I have such kind of mixed feelings on the way things have been booked with them, and if I think we're in an era where it's okay to be not a true heel or face, which is kind of what they're set up to be. But I mean, I don't know. This match to me screams that this is a team that Hurt Syndicate's actually okay with putting over, and that MVP will take the pin because there's no way the other two are getting pinned by those guys. But I don't know. It's been this Ricochet trio that he's put together. I mean, I think it's been a good pairing out of nowhere. Having the Gates of Agony with him, and I don't really know what to expect from this match, but the Hurt Syndicate thing again is just kind of weird to me. Like MJF was just kind of gone, abruptly, and they need to like add a new member or something at this point. After dropping the tag titles too, it just seems like they're kind of there. But
I always felt that maybe it's time for Lashley to get a run at the championship, just because I don't know how many years this guy's got left in his, in his tank there, but it's like I don't know. See, I've been sold on him since he was champ in TNA, and that was a long time ago. And that's when he was booked right. Not saying he's been booked wrong It's just that what they were doing in WWE in his return, I didn't feel he ever got a good singles push beyond and beyond initially coming back. But I still see him as like coming out and maybe getting a singles title before maybe retiring. He's like 50, I think, so he's close to it at least. So it's
I think he's like 48. Yeah.
he's up there. But I mean, I do like seeing the crowd behind him. That's for sure. That it's almost and the crowd dictates who they like and who they don't like. So even if they were being difficult when they were tag champions, people still like them. So kudos to them. So next up, we've got Moxley versus Darby Allin in a coffee match. Sorry,
Oh,
Coffee
that's
match.
coffin match.
sign me up for that right now, immediately.
The coffee match, so it's like no,
I
that's
love this concept.
yeah. You have to grind the beans at one point and then go to the next corner. I don't know.
You have to. There's not enough people that grind their beans right before they make the coffee. Makes a huge difference.
You definitely get more flavor valley. So
It's fresher. It makes everything smell good in the kit. Like you can get a cheap coffee grinder for like $15 on Amazon. Like people just give it a shot.
yeah, and coffee beans I think cost less than when you buy the processed ground up already. So but nevertheless, we are talking about a coffin match. So someone obviously gets put in a coffin. They close the top on it. I'm sure the ring will be painted red by the time that happens. And I don't know. It's taking Moxley out of a main event place, but it's like, obviously we're welcoming back Darby Allin as well. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure it'll be an exciting match. You have thoughts on the match, any of you guys? I'm
Trying to debate how many shenanigans are going to take place.
Yeah.
It's a match I'm sure will be entertaining, but I have no interest going into it. But I'm sure they'll do some crazy stuff and it'll be fun. So
I feel like a coffin match should be like the blowout to what's happening.
It should be.
And it seems too soon to be doing that.
Yeah. It is strange, and I don't know if this is something that I mean, unless you do it dirty. Darby just came back. So I mean, I'm not saying that I want something specifically, but in general, like Darby shouldn't lose on a pay-per-view right now after just coming back or whatever. But Moxley just lost a big match on a pay-per-view last time out, 2 times ago, whatever. I don't know. I mean, can Moxley just lose this and we keep going? Hopefully, I guess. I don't know. I don't care. Hopefully they both lose.
Oh, the amazing thing is that in my list, it's back to back with the MJF and Mark Briscoe in a thumbtacks and tables match. So we're gonna get the ring painted red, one match or both matches for tonight with that. And I kind of like it. I mean, obviously, Mark Briscoe and MJF, this thing has been going on for a while, kind of in the background, sort of. I don't think it's been that prominent, except for I mean. There's been some, vicious promos cut against each other. This will probably be the blow off, I'm guessing, between these two. So MJF can move back towards getting a title or a major title. Yeah, it's another one that's just I have a feeling it's just going to be painting the ring red. DC, thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think this is a fitting blowout match for those two. Like you said, I feel like this has been going on for what, 6 months or so? Time for both men to move on. I don't know where Mark Briscoe goes from this. I have a hard time seeing MJF losing, but at the same time, I think Briscoe needs the win more.
I will go out and say I think Mark Briscoe is going to win this match.
Wow.
With
the hateful things that MJF has been saying, it makes sense that he does get, I mean, especially what he's saying about his brother, it was like, I think that this would be justified. And then maybe you can end it there, I guess, between the two. I mean, Mark Briscoe, he could go for any of the other, lower titles or even the Ring of Honor title again, I mean, he definitely, but I think MJF really needs to be in the upper echelon. So hopefully, this will be the blow off. Rob, sorry to interrupt.
No, I think that word is that MJF really wanted this this program with Mark Briscoe, out of his respect for him and everything else. And when you hear something like that, it makes me think that he wants to help Mark Briscoe get elevated a little bit more than anything. So I know that's not that MJF isn't the first person that comes to mind in that kind of stuff. At least the character MJF, but I just, to me, this is that's one of the opportunities today to pull off something that people aren't really expecting.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. I don't know if you guys saw, was it last night that MJF it's the CML show that he came out dressed as Homelander from head to toe, much like Cody Rhodes had done in the past. Homelander from obviously the Boys TV show. I think, yeah. So he was it in Mexico City last night? I think I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, at Arena Mexico.
Yeah. And so, yeah, and I'm not even sure what the results were, but I saw the pictures and it was, he was like head to toe in like the super suit. So it was very, very interesting look for him. And then now he's flying straight from there to Toronto to come for today. So,
And
It's also interesting recently to see his interaction with Alex Hammerstone.
it is
yeah,
interesting.
they used to be partners, right? In Major League Wrestling, they
Yep.
they were tag partners. So, yeah, I
them,
think
well, them and along with Richard Holiday, they were. Well, I'm blanking on the stable name right now, but yeah, they were a pretty good trio together. I mean, we're going back to that ended right around the same time that AEW started. But they put some good stuff together. Yeah, MJF. I mean that's maybe
The Dynasty.
the Dynasty. Yes, thank you. MJF lost the title last night to Mystico.
okay, yeah.
So I think maybe this is. I mean, I know that there was stuff out there that like MJF's been kind of not at all of the live events for AEW because he's been filming in Winnipeg and going back and forth. So I'm pretty sure he had to go from like somewhere to Winnipeg to Philly to Winnipeg to Mexico City to Toronto. Like maybe he's got more of that coming up. Like maybe this is an opportunity for him to just lose today as well and then be gone for a few weeks or something and kind of reset that way. I don't know, but it could be I'm going to say he goes 0 for 2 this weekend. So
All right. Well, I mean, he did beat Mystico for that title too, as well, and it was very controversial. I'm surprised they didn't riot when he did win that. So, but next
well,
up,
that was a title versus mask match last night, which Mystico was not gonna lose that. So,
I wonder if there's any trampolines involved. Okay, so Adam Copeland and Christian Cage versus FTR. We kind of already said what we felt about it earlier, but I did mention Dax Hardwood breaking his nose pretty bad this past week on Dynamite. So he'll be there, I mean, you got to kill him to make him not be there. So I'm sure he'll have some sort of a protective device on his face. But, like you said, you wish there was more at stake for this reunion, grudge match here. And there really isn't. But, I mean, I think they should, ride. I like how Christian kind of stole the mic during the promo just to, make sure people knew how he felt about things when they were cutting the promo in the ring on Wednesday, and to still be seen as, as Cope's a-hole, it's like, but I think that there's more for them in the future. Eventually, I mean, can they ride this all the way to the next major pay-per-view and maybe win a title? I don't know. I mean, people would like to see it. Obviously, it's kind of like a retirement tour.
I don't.
Yeah, I know.
No, you're right. People do want to see it, but I did not want the Hardys to win the AEW tag titles, and they didn't. But if there's a match where you should find ways to pull out some surprises and stuff, maybe this is the situation where like Stokely tries to do stuff during the match and Beth Phoenix comes out and takes him out. Like something like that would work well to make this a bigger deal. Like I think they really should go all out with this match in some ways. So
he said it. He said it.
He said the thing.
he said the thing.
So interesting. I saw an interview with Cope this week where he talked. John Cena apparently was using some of his move sets in his last match, and it was kind of like a tribute to Cope.
Thank you for using the word move set just because it pisses off CM Punk.
Yeah, well, he did. Yeah, so so did he. I guess John Cena was like giving him like a tip of the hat or whatever by doing the spear and everything, and so. But it was interesting that he recognized that when he was watching the match. So, yeah, and I'm sure those guys do things like that all the time to each other. So next up, let's see, Brody King and Bandito champs, right? Versus the Young Bucks with all their money now falling out of their bag as they're in the ring, trying to pay off refs and all sorts of things.
I can't wait till the bag is full of IOUs. I can't wait.
Jet Speed versus Josh Alexander, Henchicero, and in a four-way ladder match for the AEW tag titles. Ought to be great. I mean, listen, Josh Alexander, man, he every time he goes in the ring, he puts on an incredible match. He's a great wrestler. He really does need to move up. And I mean, I know he's new and it's like, you get kind of indoctrinated into the company, but he does need to move up eventually. But I mean, all these guys are great, I mean, and I kind of like, the Young Bucks is fun stuff. They got money now for their music back and there's pyros and whatnot, silly as it was. You only won $500,000. That only goes so far, The women got to what, $100,000 for the match on Collision last week. So, I don't think they're going to add it to their intros and stuff. But what do you guys? What do you think about this? This is going to be a spot fest, obviously, Rob. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really fun. I don't see the tag titles changing this soon for Brodito, and also because like I don't know, if you took it off them, you need to put it on heels, and you could put it on the Bucks. I mean, certainly with everything, but Josh Alexander should hopefully get a nice reaction from the Toronto crowd. So it might not be the easiest thing to make him hated there today. But this is definitely just a wrestling match that, regardless of the titles, like I think this is definitely a potential show stealer, no doubt about it. This just should be a lot of fun.
And a welcome back to Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
Oh yeah. I heard he lost his girlfriend though. But yeah.
Costing the Bucks the match. But I feel like the whole falling out with Luchasaurus and Kip this week, and then I don't know if anybody's been watching Being the Elite now that that's
Oh,
back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so
I
glad
feel like
it's
they're
back.
trying to weave some stuff in.
I mean, maybe. Is there a chance that if and when he comes back, it could be more on well, I assume Kill Switch and Christian is done now. I don't know. I mean, obviously Nick Wayne didn't get that match because he's hurt, and so maybe they could go back to this whole Christian and Associates feud kind of thing. But I don't. I don't want to see the Jungle Boy character back. I don't want to hear the music again.
No.
I don't want that.
Don't you want to hear Taz singing
I want
it?
to hear Taz sing it again.
Yeah, Taz sing it like we get every week with.
Yeah, I mean that was the best part of it, but which is not really a good
Do
sign.
we have a new edgier Jurassic Express?
I don't know what they did. I mean, I kind of feel like Jack Perry's still just going to be gone for more time. The whole thing is weird. I mean, it's going to be, there's no justification for him being off TV for so long. I don't know, unless he's just like, I went on a sabbatical and I thought about
Got really into knife making.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. He's doing his thing. But yeah, I don't want to see super babyface Jungle Boy back.
No.
Like I feel like he moved past that point in his career and should never go back to it.
No. Keep riding the CM Punk heel for him. Because I mean, as I think the best thing he's done in AEW since he's been there was playing the heel after all that crap happened. Coming out and and riding the crowd with it. I think I don't know. We'll see. if that does show up. But we've got it looks like we got 4 more matches to mention real quick, so let's get to them. We got Okada, Takeshita versus Mascara Dorado in a 3-way for the AEW Unified Championship. Once again, Takeshita, incredible wrestler, always shines when it's a big match, and this is a big match for all of them. Okada as well. So I don't know. I'm excited about it. I don't care who wins. I know that probably Dorado won't, but I shouldn't say that because maybe Dorado will. So what do you think, DC?
No, yeah, I'd much prefer this to be a one-on-one match, but as Artis kind of indicated, looks like they're still slowly building that. But given that, Okada's going to retain.
Okada will pin Mascara Dorada.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
Takeshita won't. Takeshita's not going to eat the pin, but he's not taking the title in this match. I think I hope he is the person who takes it from Okada, whether that's a month or 2 down the line or whatever the case is. But I don't see that happening today.
this is my idea. Is probably Okada takes out Dorado, and then Takeshita pins Dorado after Okada took him out. Something like that, kind of like that will happen. So it'll build up more between them if they continue on with it. So, yeah, it'll be an exciting match nonetheless. We got Mercedes Moné versus Rio for the TBS Championship. Riho shoehorned in there a little bit. I don't see
A little bit, yeah.
well, I'm trying to be diplomatic about it. Okay, it was like
I've said repeatedly on the show that I think Mercedes' run this year specifically is still underrated by most people. She's been putting on incredible matches. This match, if I'm Vegas or whatever, I give Riho 0% odds of winning this match. Is not happening. You can take that to the bank. This is the least interested I've been in a Mercedes match, TV or pay-per-view or indie or anything since her AEW debut. I don't care about this match at all.
Oh, DC.
Same.
Sorry about that. I'm sure Mercedes, I'm sure Monet will freaking put on a 5-star classic because obviously
she'll do her best, but I mean, and Riho did look a little bit better this week compared to last week, right? But yeah, I don't think this match needs to be saved for the second half of the show or anything.
There you go. Too soon.
I wish it was on the tailgate brawl.
The pre-show. All right, next up.
I care more about that 8-woman tag than I do about that TBS title match.
We're gonna like this next one too. A 4-way for the AEW Women's Championship. Toni Storm, Chris Statlander, Jamie Hayter, and Thekla. And they did a good build up for it this week on Dynamite. There was some good heat amongst the participants in it that maybe got people a little excited for it. Toni Storm is a treasure. Okay, I don't care what anybody, there's some naysayers out there, like, I don't know if you saw the interview with Victoria or whatever her name is where she said she burned a bridge with WWE by the way she left and the way, her comments. Yeah.
Well, Victoria's been burning bridges with a large percentage of wrestling fans as of late. Yeah. We'll just say that I'm not getting into all of that from a world climate, political.
I gotcha.
All that kind of stuff. But
can the FCC regulate Facebook feed lives?
I don't know. I'm worried about that. We're gonna get canceled now. You know what? There's no money involved in this except for coming out of our own pockets. So come on.
Cash, you don't have any mergers or acquisitions coming up, do you?
I've got none. So come after.
Okay.
No.
Nothing made me laugh more this week, I think, than Jon Stewart starting off his special daily show on Thursday with how this show is administration approved and stuff, and just because here we go, state-run media. But I'm not gonna. The amount of I'm clearly like I don't bite my tongue as much as other people do with this kind of stuff. But the time period of me being able to bite my tongue at all, I feel like is coming to an end pretty soon. Yeah. My patience with people who still support this dictator wannabe asshole.
Oh,
And we're done.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the match? Hey,
Oh yeah. The this match to me on paper looks awesome. I think all four of these women are really good. Uh, this won't be popular, but I would love to see a surprise Tekla win here. She doesn't have to pin Tony Storm. Tony Storm, I still think, doesn't have to be the champion to do what she does and to be as big of a star as she is at this point. I don't see one of the I don't even know how you describe Statlander at this point. I don't see a babyface hater taking it from Storm right now. Um, but I think the match will be really good. I assume Tony will retain, but this is that to me is a lot more interesting than the TBS title match, even though both of them are probably just simple retaining of titles.
what do you think? What do you think, DC?
I would like to see a new champ too, but my money's on Chris Statlander.
Okay.
I feel like she's due for this right now.
Yeah, I always
I
try.
mean,
Yeah.
she's been due for that title for so long. If any of them, like, I mean, I don't think Hater's necessarily been built up properly yet to have the title again. And I'm sorry, but like Hater when she was the champion was like the best. This current version of Hater since she came back, I don't think has been booked properly. And doesn't have like the same intensity, whatever. I don't have the same exact feeling of Jamie Hater right now as I did before her injury. And I'm hoping that gets closer to where it was, but I don't think she's ready to be world champion again yet, even purely from a booking side of things. But Stat needs to have that belt sooner than later.
I always look when they have like, they have the brawls and who comes out last. And it's like, and it always seems like the last one is always the biggest star or one of the biggest threat in this match, and it always seems like it's been Statlander or Hater coming out last to most of the time whenever there's breaking up things. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it could lead to other things. It probably will. I mean, because all four of these participants, should be champ at some time in this company. Thekla is kind of new though. I mean, she does some neat things in the ring and stuff, but we'll see. We'll see. I think Tony Storm's going to retain. Last up, Hangman Page versus Kyle Fletcher. And, seeing a lot of compliments on this matchup by people all across the internet, people who usually are very critical. They think that this is a big match because one, I think we've got this before. Didn't we have the Kyle Fletcher Hangman Page on TV? I can't remember how long ago it was. But man, it was a barn burner. No, was it Kyle Fletcher? I can't remember. Can you remember, Rob? Did they wrestle before on TV?
I can check. I don't.
I'm trying to remember. I know that Hangman has been taking on some pretty tough competition on TV, but these guys should burn the house down. Fletcher's incredible. Hangman's incredible. You get them out there together. Maybe I'm thinking MJF and Kyle Fletcher. I'm trying to remember. I know that he's had some incredible matches, but man, I think obviously Hangman probably is going to defend, it's still early in this run, but man, Hangman is super over. They're doing it right this time. He's not disappearing for a month and a half after winning the championship. So what do you think, DC?
No, I think this is going to be a great match. And if there are still any, I don't know why there would be Kyle Fletcher doubters out there, this should eliminate any of that. He's a future world champion, just not yet.
Agreed. And yes, they did wrestle each other before in the semis of the Owen this year, back in the end of April, in a really good match that Hangman won, obviously, because he won the Owen. But yeah, that's okay. That does ring a bell. I remember in Norfolk.
It was like a short. They had like a time limit on it too, and so they were like, I think those matches had time limits on them, and so they didn't get. It wasn't like an hour classic or anything. It's because obviously
I think maybe 30 minutes. Yeah, it was 23 minutes, 24 seconds. Dynamite from April 30th. So yeah, it should be a really, really good match. And with that stipulation, like I don't know. I like that it's just a one-on-one thing. There's almost part of me that wants him to be stripped of the TNT title from the stipulation, just because that kind of stuff never really happens when there's stipulations like that. But at the same time, I would like to see him just have a really good TNT title reign. Hold that for a while. He doesn't need the world title yet, but tonight can take him to the next level, make him more believable for that for the future. This really could be like I mean, he's had breakout matches. I mean, especially with Osprey and stuff, but this could be the next level of a breakout match for him on this road. So, again, it's a match. I think it's pretty clear cut who's going to win. But I do think that this match could be very, very good.
Yeah, so it's well worth buying the pay-per-view, folks. You know, we there's a lot of surprises still installed and entailed for this that we don't know. They've teased it. You know, everybody teases it. I mean, every show that they want you to buy, or like for instance, well, WrestlePalooza's tonight. There's a lot of people teasing things that might be happening there that are surprises. I don't know. I mean, it looked, from the card I saw for that show, it's only a few matches. It's like a glorified house show in Indianapolis. I'm sure, they'll find some way maybe to get Pat McAfee to show up because it's his hometown. Well, I mean, his hometown's Pittsburgh, but that's where he played football. So I don't know how you consider that, but yeah. So that I'm excited for that tonight. It does start early, folks. And like I said, you can get your pizza, like, late lunch and then, late dinner, and you get wrestling all day until probably who knows when that may, but definitely want to check that out. It's really some cool stuff happening, and there's a lot of meaning in this show. Whether we were, we downplayed, the real impact from all these matches, but man, there could be a ton of impact if it goes the way we don't think. So you never know. But I think it's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it tonight. I will probably catch a replay of it for sure because I'm going to be in Buffalo. But kudos to that. I'm going to quickly do a quick run through just because I owe WWE fans something before I get to the news. And that's tonight's WrestlePalooza, which is at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Not going to break it down like we did the other one because, like I said, this is a glorified house show. It's going to start at 7 p.m. on ESPN Unlimited, and I got a joke about that in a minute. So we're going to have, but they added a match to it last night: the Usos versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. We got Cena versus Brock Lesnar for the final time, whatever. Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer for the vacant Women's World Championship. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. We got Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus CM Punk and AJ Lee. And that's it. That's the whole rundown for the show. They said there's going to be surprises. I don't care what they are.
It's funny. Somebody pointed out on Twitter this morning that like Triple H was saying like, oh, expect surprises and stuff like that, which, if you say so, I mean, with it being the first ESPN show, I assume they'll figure out some big surprise or something. But I love how somebody pointed out, like, notice he said like, this and surprises and stuff, but he didn't ever say good wrestling.
Yeah, I saw something about that too. It's like, yeah, oh yeah, and there's wrestling on the show too because this is the E part of ESPN, right? Entertainment. No, it's true. I mean, John, listen, I'll admit it, I've been a big critic and not a big fan of John Cena his whole career. But I'm glad if he's truly going out with this one, that it's coming to the end, and we're seeing the end of it right now. So what does he do at the end is a big question mark. Does he put people over, or does he get put over? This is the last quote unquote match with Brock Lesnar. He's got, we're in the middle to end of September. So really he's only going to wrestle through the beginning of December. I don't hate what he's doing. I mean, I love his Peacemaker show. So, that they're trying to sell it on that mostly with the Lesnar thing. And Lesnar, of course, last night, if you saw on SmackDown, Lesnar did 2 F5s to Corey Graves and also had Michael Cole and walked around the ring for, 3 laps around the ring with Michael Cole on his shoulder before he found the stairs to get in and then threw him down. And so we had no announcers from that point on until Michael Cole dragged himself back to the announce booth, and then the Miz came down and co-announced with him the rest of the show. But Corey Graves taking 2 F5s. Thought, we know he was a wrestler before. He had that spinal stenosis, I think. Is that what his issue was? I think. Oh no, he had concussion issues.
Concussion issues.
Yeah, and so he did take two F5s. He did them perfectly. If you saw it, he freaking sold them like a champ because he acted like it killed him. I don't know. I mean, obviously he's going to get back into the ring eventually, it sounds like. I don't, I mean, it's, I think they're kind of taking, that it's kind of reminds me of Nigel coming back. Nigel was out for such a very long time and then came back. So maybe Corey's going to get back in the ring, but, or not. I mean, or they're just having Brock Lesnar be the beast by beating up all the announcers for the show and stuff. But you have any thoughts on that? Seeing him take that stuff. I mean, he was a local guy around here, so we definitely. I mean, we've had a lot of interaction with him before he ever, became a WWE guy. So I don't ever want to see anyone get hurt, and I don't think he did. If you go back and watch it, he took them perfectly. Obviously, if you land flat on F5, you're fine, and he did both times. So, does this lead to him coming back in the ring and then getting destroyed by Brock Lesnar in a match, or is he just going to be back to announcing next week with a neck brace on or something? You guys have any thoughts on that?
There's been word of him potentially coming back to the ring for so long. So I mean, I guess nothing would surprise me at this point. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't see the F5s or anything.
Oh yeah, well, I would say there's been a lot of rumors about WWE shaking up the announce crew, but I don't believe any of it. After
Yep, because if that's one thing in WWE that needs to change, it's the announcers.
yeah, I don't. I mean, I understand, but they do switch them up because it's like it give you a different feel for different guys. They do things differently. But I think Joe Tessitore is now on Raw, and Michael Cole is on SmackDown now. A lot of people are saying Wade Barrett's done, but in reality, he took that announcement, came out, and said that he is not done. In fact, he's on vacation or something like that. So, but well, no, if he doesn't come back, he's done then, I guess. But someone I know that is done is Andrade with WWE. After we got done with the show last Saturday, it came out last Saturday night that he's no longer with WWE. He departed the company and he's been moved to the alumni section of their website. He made his way back to WWE in 2024 Royal Rumble, so he hasn't been back that long. His final match with the company took place at SummerSlam 2025 when he teamed with Rey Fenix in a TLC match for the WWE Tag Team Championship. The bout was won by the Wyatt Six. And so Andrade really has been kind of like treading water with WWE since, he came back and then we found out that he and Charlotte are divorced now or whatever. I don't know. I'm not going to say he burned his bridge with AEW, but he did get in a fight with Sammy Guevara and punched him, I guess, and got suspended because of that. Or so did Sammy as well. I'm suspecting that we're not going to see Andrade back in AEW, just because I know that one of the things WWE had a problem with is he never really learned English. And that was kind of a barrier for him all the time to cut promos and stuff in which he could not speak English. So,
and I feel like he's in a jam now too with AEW and WWE's expansion into Mexico. Like, where does he go? He's going to have to go to New Japan if he wants to keep doing stuff that's not under one of those umbrellas.
Yeah. And I think that even regardless of the reason that you were saying there, I feel like that's the place for him to go, at least for now. I don't think Tony Khan should bring him back. But I know Tony had kind of alluded to things were okay when he left. Obviously there were issues during his employment there and stuff, and Sammy getting suspended for getting punched and stuff. But I think he's a very talented wrestler, but I don't think that there's anything that he hasn't shown us yet, I guess. And I just don't. I as an AEW viewer, I don't need him back there.
I think that, I remember the first, I only seen him live, I think once, and that was when NXT was in Rochester at the Main Street Armory, where he wrestled Drew McIntyre, and they put on a awesome match. And I was really impressed with his ability to work with a big guy like that. He was champ of NXT, I believe, at that time too. Right? Yeah.
His run. So when he first came to NXT, I feel like he was floundering. And then when they paired him with Vega and he got that title run, he was unbelievable. he was never better.
Yeah. Well, he's unfortunately worked himself out of two companies. Or well, like you said, Rob, he did leave on, I mean, it wasn't like he was fired from AEW. Yeah, I think either he asked for his release or his contract lapsed, and that, but he must not have had a long contract, that's for sure, because he wasn't there very long, I don't think. Much like Miro, or
Was he there like 3 years maybe or
is he
something? Because
there?
I remember
Okay.
like
I just don't remember him ever being used correctly. It's like he come out with a mask on, and I don't know.
I don't know, I mean, like there were definitely he had a lot of really he was a part of a lot of really good matches. Thinking to him and Cody is the one that always comes to mind first to me, but also stuff with there's a match with Pac and some others. Like he can definitely put on a great match, but I also just I'm happy again that AEW is not just taking everybody that WWE releases or whatever at this point, and I don't think it's the right look to immediately scoop back up somebody who left your company to go to WWE, to then be like, oh yeah, just come back. No, like
Yeah.
that to me just feels like okay, well he has to settle and go back there, and we're just gonna take him back because like no, like it's let him go do Japan at least for a bit or something. I also just don't. A lot of these people that have come over, like the Hurt Syndicate has been doing some cool stuff, but the word is that they all have like really long AEW contracts. I don't think that's necessary. There's a lot of people that are getting like 5-year contracts and stuff in AEW, and just like, do we need that? Some people serve a great purpose in coming in and doing a year's worth of work, and then it's like, okay, we've done everything with them that we need to do and stuff. I kind of would like to see that with some people, to be honest, but I don't know. I don't think AEW needs him, I guess is the best way I can put it. So let him go tear it up in New Japan, go have an incredible match, Wrestle Kingdom and stuff, and then make Tony Khan and people be like, okay, we do want you back. Like that's fine with me. But
Yeah, and I mean, and it's always good to have that Japanese option, as well to, because you burn that bridge, then you're really in trouble, So but he hasn't, I mean, I'm not sure if it was a mutual parting with WWE or it was just, he just asked for his release because they weren't using him correctly. A lot of people were upset that when Andrade showed up that he leapt over other people to get more of a prominent position coming back, and then some people got laid to the wayside for a while, and so now they kind of see the error in their ways, I guess, and let him go. But I don't know.
I mean, the word is that he had some kind of disciplinary issues in there at
Substance
some
abuse,
point.
potentially.
I don't think they said that he had a substance. He was suspended for something, but they said it wasn't substances. So I don't, but
I don't know if it was or not. But either
I feel
way,
like I saw
like
somewhere there was a show where he was kind of
yeah,
escorted away.
yeah, it might be the case. Like I don't know for sure, but I think it's one way or another. Like it's not just a hey, I'm not happy with the wrestling thing. Let me go. Okay, you're gone.
Yeah.
Like it sounds to me like this was more of a WWE decision than an Andrade
I wonder if
decision.
his marriage ending with Charlotte Flair had maybe something to do with that too. Maybe just because they're on the same brand as well. And we heard about the marriage ending right after he came back to WWE. So I don't know. They love Charlotte though. I mean, obviously Charlotte has a lot of say. So wherever Andrade shows up, hopefully the love for the business. I mean, he was an excellent, solid wrestler in the ring. So just had some barriers with his language and other things. So some other news, TNA surprise this past week, TNA had a few people pop in who hadn't been there in a while. You got to see Mr. Anderson show up. That guy hasn't been around forever. He's been running a school, I think, up in Minnesota for like the last 10 years since his last run in TNA. he came out and interrupted Frankie Kazarian's speech, that segment that was going on, and he eventually started to get into it, grabbed Kazarian by his face, and then Jake something jumped from behind him and brought out Steve Macklin, and then he came out to save Anderson from the ambush, and very interesting. But not only was Mr. Anderson there, but Ridge Holland. You might remember Ridge Holland, infamous for I'm not going to say what he's infamous for, but he hurt somebody in his career, and who's never, who was obviously ignored at the NXT gathering they had this past week. I don't know. NXT had a big show this past week where they brought back a lot of folks, and
No surprise, it started with Triple H.
I
Yes,
was going to say the exact same thing.
yeah, it did start with him too, but they had like this clip, video clip in the beginning with all these people, and one was Big E, and they did not use him. When I guess he was backstage the whole time, and they were planning on using him, but they never used him. So he's getting treated pretty disrespectfully there. If they ask him to show up and then they don't use him, it's like not like Bret Hart not having a seat at SummerSlam, but still, I think that he's the odd man out when it comes to the New Day and what's going on with them, unfortunately. Also, ODB showed up too this past week, so we had a bunch of old school TNA folks showing up on TNA. It's interesting that TNA, obviously having the working agreement with WWE, which basically is a working agreement with NXT. I guess that they're going to jump deep into it coming up soon with a TNA invasion angle. So don't say you didn't hear it first, but I saw it more than a few times mentioned. So
does TNA get their championships back during this?
Well, they have champ versus champ going on. They have this next pay-per-view, but neither of them are TNA guys. Who are they're taking on each other in the match? So I don't know. We will see.
It's a mutually beneficial partnership.
Yeah, no, it isn't. No, they're stealing Joe Hendry. It's Joe Hendry's like getting phased off of TNA programming because he's about to sign a huge deal with WWE. So that's another thing that was in the news. I had wanted to mention is Joe Hendry. They're kind of phasing him off TNA programming just so that when he'll be at NXT. But it's kind of like, I don't know. It's if they're one and the same. It's not going to make it won't be any visual difference from what you're watching on TV, I'm guessing. But it's interesting. Tony Khan was doing an interview this past week, and he said that the kickoff match for the pay-per-view today is going to be Adam Copeland and Cage versus FTR. So that's going to be the first match today on the pay. So he did say that in an interview. He also said he's going to run a major event in the United States directly against WWE WrestleMania 43 from Saudi Arabia, which would be a year from next year's WrestleMania. So he's already been planning a big event to go against them, which makes sense, doesn't it? If if WrestleMania is going to be out of the country, Tony Khan also said he sets all his ticket prices for family friendly events, much unlike WWE has been for the last couple of years. Because he which is funny is TKO's the way that the way they charge for events is based on what UFC was doing, and Vince McMahon always kind of worked towards having family friendly ticket prices so a whole family could go without having to mortgage their house and stuff. So that's what Tony Khan's perspective is on selling tickets for events. He's trying to do that, but WWE doesn't care, because.
And if you're a fan of professional wrestling, the move to have WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia should really piss you off. And not just for the obvious reason of there's 100 other places it should have been outside the United States and Canada, but WrestleMania week and weekend is always such a big event and big opportunity for independents all around the country to do stuff. I don't think you're going to see any independent events popping up in Riyadh.
No, probably not. Yeah.
So if Tony Khan wants to put on a huge event and encourage all those independent promotions to kind of line up like they would have for a WrestleMania weekend, I am all for it.
Oh yeah, me too. I agree.
Yeah, it's not it. The whole thing is ridiculous that Mania is happening there. I do think that there will be I do think that weekend will have a lot of the regular stuff you see on a WrestleMania week happening somewhere in the States, with the combination of like the collective, WrestleCon, all that kind of stuff. AEW, I don't know if AEW go like time wise head to head, but I would assume they do a big show that weekend, like is being talked about, all that kind of stuff. I think it is a good opportunity to try to steal some of that spotlight from the garbage taking place.
Yeah, it's perfect. It makes perfect sense. And if they do it as a free show on TV, oh boy, but that'll irk TKO up big time
But I
because
mean, who knows if by the time we get to what April of 2027, if there will even still be a country or what. So
yeah,
maybe WWE will have a legitimate monopoly on the entire wrestling business worldwide, or at least within running shows in the United States.
well, then they're going to burn the business down if that's what's going to happen because
They don't care.
the coming it's like it's every time wherever WrestleMania is, it's a gathering of wrestling fans, whether you go to Mania or not. It's not going to happen in Riyadh. Sorry, folks. You're really pushing out all those guys who would come and bring all that money to the area. They don't care if any money's being brought to Riyadh because they're getting $100 million. They're getting $100 million to go there. So
Yeah, I don't think they'll be touting the economic impact of WrestleMania in Riyadh.
Oh, maybe they will. It's just like they'll just show the contract they got to be there. It's still
Just
bad.
Triple H doing a like Scrooge McDuck kind of dive into a pile of money.
Yeah, the amazing. Yeah, it's just crazy. It's so myopic. And the funny thing is obviously nobody was going to be happy about it because they didn't do it in front of a crowd. They made the announcement to an empty arena, and then when they made the announcement to the crowd in AAA, they booed. They booed heavily
Good.
during it. So, and then the "you sold out" chants were going. It's going to happen in the United States. You guys better get to have that sound machine ready to go to cover those up because as soon as you start showing that WrestleMania and Riyadh promo in the arenas, man, you're going to have a complete turn on by.
Are they going to hang a WrestleMania Riyadh sign and all the leading up into it and all the American events? Like, really?
Got to point at it, Yeah, really. No, that's crazy.
Oh, please let CM. Oh my God, please let CM Punk win the Rumble this year. No, next year.
Yeah,
and then have him have to point to a freaking Saudi Arabia WrestleMania sign.
Yeah,
and hang that. Take a picture of it and hang it in the Louvre.
There you go. Give me some more news before we get out of here. And by the way, Brian, our cool bro, Bri from West Virginia, who put a message. He goes, "I'm reading that AEW is now profitable. If so, that is good news for the industry." Well, I think when they made their relationship with Max, that's when it became profitable. So when they started simulcasting on Max, but supposedly Warner Brothers is up for sale. And then if you say anything bad about the guy in charge, he can block those sales. So let's hope none of that stuff happens, Let me go to some other news. I mentioned Dax Hardwood having a severely broken nose will be starting off the pay-per-view in the first match today. WWE Women's Champ Tiffany Stratton did not compete in NXT Homecoming, and that's what the show is, Homecoming. And Homecoming, they had a lot of video footage and stuff of all these other things going, of old, we got to see like some of the old champions and stuff like that. So, but she was supposed to be part of a match with Rhea Ripley and Stephanie Vaquer against Fatal Influence, and Laya Valkyria ended up replacing her. But last night in SmackDown, she came out and they're in a 3-way at this show today. The WrestlePalooza going on. So she whatever hurt didn't let her go to NXT is not stopping her from wrestling today in a 3-way. So I just want to throw that out there. I do want to mention before we get out of here, one thing I thought that was very interesting is last night on SmackDown, multiple times during the show, they told us how to get the ESPN app. They had the Truth do it. They had Cody Rhodes do it. They had the Truth do it more than once. In fact, he was showing them how people to do it on their phones in the back. And so it's like they're really, really worried that people are not going to be able to sign into ESPN for free for this thing because they don't know how to sign in. But I will tell you, if you want to watch it and you have Disney Plus, Disney Plus will walk you right into it. You know, but a lot of people are canceling ABC products you know, because of what happened with Jimmy Kimmel this past week, and yeah, that's right. First Amendment was you know, kind of bent a little bit, we'll say.
Bent.
You know, you know, being in the communications business and, you know, media and whatnot, I think everybody who works in media should be up in arms over this, because this is what we let, you know, when we created our, you know, our Constitution and the amendments and everything, we did that because we were being, you know, forced by a king in another country to follow their rules, and we wanted our own rules. And now we have a king in our country who doesn't like the way things are done. So I just throwing that out there that, man, I am all for the First Amendment, freedom of speech. And man, it should never, you know, I mean, if you know what, you should be responsible for what you say. And if it's something wrong, then I guess the company you work for can like do something about it, but if there's somebody who's has influence over that company and has you stifle your mouth, then that is a complete failure of the First Amendment and freedom of speech. And that's,
if you say something wrong, you should absolutely be held accountable. However, when everybody agrees that you didn't really say anything wrong and you're still being punished because of who's at the top, there's your problem.
The same guy at the top that tried to sue a newspaper for $18 billion, thinking he could just get away with $18 billion for himself because he can force people to do stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he doesn't even care about the money. He just wants to, you know, have you back down because you can't afford lawyers for these high stakes lawsuits and things like that. And that's, unfortunately, there's a company that you know, is in the process of a merger. And if someone has a say over that merger, then you have to bow to what that person has to say. And if that merger can be stopped because he's not happy with an element, things like this happen. And unfortunately it did. It's a terrible world we're in. Like you say, DC, the worst timeline ever.
And it's an interesting time too. You know, who's eerily quiet are those Second Amendment fetishists who need their guns for protection from a tyrannical government.
Yeah. Case in point.
There's so much hypocrisy out there right now. It's just,
guys, we're ending the show on a little political rant, but we all agree in this, and it's like just I think
how long until they build the wall? But it's to keep us in.
Yeah, you know, the interesting thing is I see both sides defending the First Amendment, so it's more, you know, it's more than a political thing right now. You know, it's more than, you know, because, you know.
Yeah, but it's too little too late because the systems in place have already taken the brakes off this train.
Yeah, so it's sad. We're gonna leave it on that note. We're gonna see you next week.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
We will talk to you all about what's going on after the results of all these things and all the hoopla and whatnot. Oh, I didn't even mention
WrestlePaloozing.
I forgot completely to say that we talked a couple weeks ago about Raja Jackson attacking somebody in the ring. Well, he got arrested for it this past week, and he's going to be prosecuted. So
he's a WrestlePaloozer.
Yeah, there you go. On that note, we're out of here. We'll see you next week, same bad time.